Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Shirley's Thread Work. Thank you for stopping by. Hi, Carol, and hi, Robin. And hello to everybody out there in YouTube and Facebook land. Thank you for watching. I hope many of you will just come on into the chat and join the conversation, but you don't have to. Um, but I would love for you to do so. Also, hello to all of you that will be watching the replay. I thank you for your support and um, leave comments, leave questions, whatever, make suggestions. All of those things will help the channel. And I don't want to get started right away, but don't forget to give thumbs up when you're watching because it's very helpful. So thank you so much. And hi, Jenny. How you doing? So there's a few people in here. So, as usual, I'll kind of wait a little bit to see if many more people will come in, and then we'll get started on our conversation for tonight. Hi, Val. Hi, how are you? How's your travel and your family visits and all of that stuff? You're still being quite busy, I'm assuming. Summer will be over soon. And, a lot of people kind of slow down on their travel and stuff like that after the summer break. Hi, Becky. Hi, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. So everything is good with you, Val. That's great. Great, great, great. Oh, sorry about that. Itchy nose here. Oh, today's been kind of for me. I don't know. Hasn't been a good vibrant day, I guess. It's kind of dreary here. I went out for a little bit. I think I overexerted or whatever. So when I got back, I was exhausted and I took a nap, and I guess things just kind of went downhill from there. You know how you get a little droggy from your nap. So I had to throw myself up to get myself ready for tonight. But that's just my headache. Hi, Pearl. Hi, Terry. And hi, Betty. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. Do appreciate it. So, we got people coming in, we got people viewing and everything. So, we'll get started in a few minutes. While we're waiting a little bit longer, you guys put your thinking caps on and drop me some comments in here about what it is that you want me to talk about next week. That would be so helpful because I struggle. I try to find something different every week and something of interest that people would get some information or gain some useful knowledge. That's the reason why I came up with what I came up for tonight, because as I have told you before, I kind of go through things that I see on Facebook and YouTube and questions and issues and concern that people may be talking about, and then that sort of gives me an idea of what to talk about. So I decided to talk about thread tonight. And you might say, thread? Who wants to hear about thread? But you'll be surprised how much it is to know about thread that we may not even know. And Pearl, you said, I look amazing. I'm glowing. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Maybe it's the light. And Carol, you said naps are best. Sometimes you just have to have a nap. Sometimes you just have to have a nap. And today was one of those days. I actually fell asleep unintentional because I thought I was watching the news. The news started watching me. Next thing I knew, I was waking up. And I was like, oh my goodness, I had my phone in my hand and everything, and I had drifted off on the couch. But anyway, I guess that was something that I needed to do to get some rest because, like I said, I went out, I got my hair cut, I got my hair colored, I got my platinum going on here, and did some more running around and everything, and it just kind of, wore me out, I guess, obviously, since I fell asleep. And I've been busy all week, well, latter part of last week and yesterday. So, I guess I just kind of wore myself out. And doing all of that ripping and running and stuff, I still forgot to get some wine because I don't go by the liquor store. The liquor store does not be on my mind. So I'm going to have to start doing that. There's a Walmart that I have not been to in a long time, and there's a liquor store right next to it. So I used to go to Walmart, then run over to the liquor store and get my wine and come on back. But since I haven't been in that direction in a long time, I just haven't been anywhere where it just pops out in my head. Liquor store, wine. And so, but I'm going to have to do that because I'm missing my wine. I'm going to tell you, my wine down Tuesday ain't a wine down Tuesday if you don't have no wine. So I hopefully will be able to remember to get some of that for next week. Hopefully. That'll be it. So let me see. I am going to go ahead and get started. And tonight we're going to be talking about thread. And the question is, how much do you know about thread and the different types of threads? And I'm not talking about brands, even though I will bring that up as well. I'm actually talking about thread itself, embroidery thread, and most specifically machine embroidery thread, because I don't do hand embroidery. Don't know how to do it. It's beautiful work, but I'm not going to tell you or me or anybody else that I'm going to learn how to do that. There are some things that I don't intend to puzzle my brain with, and hand embroidery is one of them. They're beautiful. It's beautiful work, though. Who knows? I said I wasn't going to quilt either. And Carol, you said your four grandboys rung you out this weekend. Yep, yep. I can. Four of them. I have five grandsons, and I remember when they were little. Yeah, they will definitely run you ragged. They definitely will do that. So let me get started. And what I wanted to talk about, like I said, is the different types of machine embroidery. And the first thing that I wanted to touch on is machine embroidery comes in various weights. And do you know what all the weights are? Now, I know the most familiar weight that we use mostly is the 40 weight for the top and 60 weight for the bottom. That is the most used weight of thread, which I'm pretty sure everybody is aware of. But there are so many other different weights of thread. And I Googled to find out because I knew a few, but I didn't know them all. And also, I just want to let you know that the smaller the number is, the thinner the weight. Nope, let me get it back. The smaller the number is for your thread, the thinner the weight is, or the thinner the thread is. However, that is not exactly, I'm looking at it now because I know a small number is bigger, like a 12, but a 30 weight is thinner than a 40 weight. So that's kind of a misdemeanor on this one, but let me read what it says. 30 weight is thicker thread and ideal for bold and standout text or designs. 40 weight is standard weight, commonly used for most embroidery designs. 50 weight is finer thread, suitable for detailed work and delicate fabrics. Then we have 60 weight, which is also thinner weight, perfect for small, intricate designs or fine lettering, which we're familiar with the 60 weight, the 30 weight, and the 40 weight. Then there is a 100 weight, which is very fine thread used for extremely detailed and delicate embroidery. I was not aware that there was a 100 weight. Were you guys? That's news to me. I was aware of the 30 weight, the 40 weight, the 60 weight, and the 12 weight. The 12 weight is a very thick thread, ideal for bold top stitching, decorative work, and creating standout designs on heavy fabrics. It's perfect for adding texture and dimension to your embroidery project. Now, I have some 12 weight thread that I purchased to do a couple of designs that I bought off of Embroidery Library. One is a Santa Claus, and I got some white 12 weight for the beard. And once you do the design, then there's a brush that you can get or have, and you brush the thread, and it's like fur. So that's what the 12 weight. I also bought a design off of Embroidery Library that is a lion. I haven't done that one yet, but I'm going to because I have several different colors of browns and golds and what have you that I purchased to do the lion with to get that texture. Now, Robin, you say you were aware of the 100 weight thread from when we used to make heirloom dresses for your daughter. Okay, so that's interesting. I've never seen or heard of 100 weight thread. So again, like I said, I don't know about you guys, but learning something about the weights. Now, 30 weight is slightly thinner than the 12 weight, but still thicker than standard threads. It's suitable for bold text, decorative stitches, and designs that need to stand out. This weight is often used for creating a more pronounced look on medium to heavy fabrics. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of people use 30 weight thread, which usually is cotton, for quilting. Now, I know, Robin, you're the quilter on here, and I know you mentioned that you used 30 weight thread before, and I bought some 30 weight thread that is quilting thread. So it is thicker. It's thinner than the 12 weight, but it's thicker than the 40 weight. 40 weight, while not as thick as 12 or 30 weight, 40 weight is considered a standard embroidery thread. It is versatile and can be used for most embroidery designs. Using thicker thread can add a unique touch to your project, but it's important to adjust your machine settings accordingly to avoid issues like thread breaking or skip stitches. And not only do you have to adjust your machine, now with my machine, my 10 needle, I've not adjusted anything. However, it's important to use the right needle. That's important. I do know that with a 60 weight, which is normally your bobbin thread, that's expected. But if you're using like a 12 weight, you need to use a thicker needle, like 80/12 or even 116, something like that. You need to use a thicker needle if you're going to use like a 12 weight or a 15 weight or something like that. Um, if you're going to use a 60 weight on your top thread, then you need to use a thinner needle, like a 65/9. And a 60 weight thread normally is used when you're doing tiny letterings. So if you're doing a logo, per se, and you have some lettering in the logo that's small, then you may want to make sure that you get a 60 weight thread that matches whatever color that you're using. And I was able to find Madeira has 40 and 60 weight threads that are very similar in color. I know I had to do that with a project that I did just recently. And I had done this project before, so luckily I had the thread. But when I did it the first time, I had to order the thread 60 and 40 weight in order to make sure that I was going to be able to do the design appropriately for the small lettering. And I know that what I did, I ended up buying several spools of 60 weight thread to match some of my more common used threads. Like I think I got some blue, some red, some gold, some yellow, and I didn't get black and white. I don't think, but I know I got the blues, the golds, the yellow, and red. So it's good to have some 60 weight thread on hand, especially if you do logos or things like that where you may need to um, do some lettering or something like that, and you're going to need that finer thread. That is something that you might be wanting to do. And Carol, you said, what is a good source for colors other than black and white for 60 weight thread? Well, like I mentioned, I was able to order some from, I believe I did get that from Madeira. I'm thinking I got it from All Stitch, but it's Madeira thread. So let me correct that. I got it from All Stitch, but it's Madeira thread that I got. And they had a good variety of colors in 60 weight thread. So that's a good place that you might want to look, Carol, if you're wanting to get a supply. And I think that's yeah, because I remember Jeanette from Baroka Sewing and Craft mentioned that is where she bought hers, and I went on and I checked, and they had a good selection of different colors. And what I do recommend is that you match it up with your top thread. So if you get a green 60 weight, then try to get that same green number or name or whatever in your 40 weight. That way you'll have a pair where you can use if you're doing a project and you just need to do the lettering or something fine like that, and your colors will match. So that's what I'm suggesting that you do. Hi, Ann. How are you? Um, yes, we are talking embroidery thread. Yes, we are. And just chime in if you have any questions or anything like that. So I just went through 30 weight, thicker thread, idea for bold standout text, 40 weight, which is standard and commonly used. 50 weight is finer thread, suitable for detail work. 60 weight is thinner thread, perfect for small, intricate designs or fine lettering. And also that is the thread that we use in our for our bobbin on our machines, on our um, 10 needle machines. Now, when you're embroidering on a single needle machine, if you're going to do like freestanding lace or something like that, you can use the top thread, which is a 40 weight, or you can put the 60 weight. Anyway, it's not as important, I guess, is that's not the best word, but it's not a requirement that you have to have the 60 weight in the bobbin and the 40 weight on top when you're using a single needle machine, as to what I read today, because oftentimes we will wind our own bobbin for our single needle machine when we're doing some sewing, and or if you have a combination, your embroidery. Um, but I know for a multi-needle machine, you're always going to use your 60 weight for your bobbin. And 100 weight, very fine thread used for extremely detailed and delicate fabric. I don't even know where you can get that from. That's interesting. Now, I asked the AI if there was any thicker thread than 12. because I was aware of the 12. And the answer came back that is 12 weight thread is quite thick and is used for bold, prominent stitches. Threads can go even thicker, such as 8 weight or 3 weight, but these are typically not recommended for use as top threads in a sewing machine. I did not know anything about an 8 weight or 3 weight, and I'm not even going to try it because that sounds like it could be yarn. But then it goes on to say that there are 15 weights and 10 weights as well. 15 weight thread is very thick and used for bold decorative stitching, top stitching, and creating standout designs on heavy fabrics. That's the other thing that you have to keep in mind is that not only do you have to be mindful of the needles when you're using thicker threads or even thinner threads, you have to be mindful of the fabric that you're using as well. And it says 10 weight is even thicker than 15 weight. And this thread is ideal for very bold and prominent designs, adding texture and dimension to your project. Now, I have mentioned so many different weights of threads. Were you guys aware of all these different weights? Let me know in the chat because I have to tell you, I was not. I knew that there were several different weights, but I had no idea how extensive the different weights were. Now, are they readily available? I don't know. I didn't really deep dive to look to see where I could find all of those different weights, but obviously they're out there. So the question came, who's saying, "Hi Marissa, how you doing?" And your question is, do they have magnetic color bobbins? Yes, they do. I have been able to buy off of Amazon, and you probably can get them from All Stitch or All Brand as well. But they're magnetic and they're colored. And let me see if I can get it. Oh, here it is, right here. This is for my machine, uh, L. See, it's a L, and they are red. Now that's just one that I bought, and it is Magna Glide. See if you can see the Magna Glide. Trying to do stuff backwards is kind of odd. Uh, Trying to get it where you can see it. Magna Glide. I guess you can see it a little bit. Anyway, Magna Glide, and this is Cardinal Red, and it is magnetic. And there's 20 bobbins in here. And when I bought this, it was $20. But I remember the other day, my girlfriend and I were looking at Amazon because she was asking about different colored threads, and they had um, gone down like 15 bucks, right around 15, $16. So anywhere from say 16 to $20, you can get this little jar of magnetic threads in different colors. And I got the red because I wanted to do freestanding lace. Now they had several different colors. They had the blues and the greens and the golds and yellows. So yes, you can get magnetic threads in color because I tried to do a wind a bobbin and use it in my 10 needle machine and it wasn't happening. It was not having it. It would not work. My machine is so used to the magnetic thread, it was not having anything that I wanted. It wasn't good enough. So I decided to invest in that. So I'm going to get several different colors because I do like doing freestanding lace, and that's usually what I use the different color threads. Now I have something else as well. And I may have shown you guys this. This is Can you see? Okay, plastic L assorted threads, and I'm gonna turn it on the back so you can see it better. There's various colors of threads in here, but these are not magnetic threads. However, I do use these on my tin needle and they work very well. And I got these off of Amazon as well. And it's 25 different assorted colors in here. Plastic size L, 25 assorted colors. And I got this off of Amazon. I've had it for a while. I have used, I think I used up one missing and I don't know what it is. But I've used one, two, obviously three, pretty much. But the rest of them I haven't used that much because I don't do a lot of stitching where I have to match up my colors, but it's always good to be able to do so. So this is another option, but again, this one is not magnetic. This one is. And I've gotten them both off of, excuse me, I've gotten them both off of Amazon. So you can find those. And Robin, you said Amazon sells a 100-weight thread. Okay. And so does Joanne. Now, I did not know Joanne had a 100-weight thread, but I really haven't looked. Okay, so that's good to know. That's where you can buy it. And Pearl, you said you learned some on the Superior Thread website, including a 100-weight. And Val, you said no, you did not know there are so many weights. I did not either. I knew there was quite a few, but I didn't know how many. Um, and Carol, you said Madeira figures. I have a big isocore stash. Might have to find a brand uh, conversion table that shows similar colors or just buy more thread. I just I wing it a lot, trust me. And you say you use King Star in the bobbin and top thread for the freestanding lace. Yes, if you're gonna do freestanding lace, now I use King Star metallic thread. I have not used it in a bobbin because I haven't wound a bobbin with metallic thread. Can you buy King Star bobbins? King Star metallic thread bobbins or any bobbin in metallic thread. I didn't think about that until just now, so I haven't researched it. So if anybody knows that whether or not you can or not, let me know. And then you say you like exquisite threads. So yeah, I'm going to get into the different brands in a minute. Um, so let me see where I am with that. So again, like Val was saying, she didn't realize there was so many different weights. I definitely didn't know. I knew that there were, but I didn't know how many. So I asked AI to list the top 10 machine embroidery threads that are highly recommended for their quality. And the number one is Madeira. Madeira is known for its high quality rayon and polyester threads, and Madeira offers a wide range of colors and excellent durability. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I got my 60 weight different color threads. They're Madeira brand. Not necessarily from Madeira, but definitely Madeira brand. I usually get Madeira thread if I'm going to get it from All Stitch. And I recently read something on Facebook which is was enlightening to me because I know I have always complained, maybe you guys have heard me, that I didn't like shopping at Madeira, even though I do occasionally do buy from Madeira because especially like I do where I need to go to get the 12 weight thread. Their shipping is extremely expensive. If you get it on Friday, you can get a discount. But it's expensive. Plus, the thing that I dislike the most is that they don't tell you what the total charge is going to be until after they charge your card. I hate that. They'll give you the price of everything except for what the shipping is. And then when you click OK to buy the item or buy your order, then you'll get the final bill where they've already taken the money where the shipping is added. And the shipping could be $25, $30 or more depending upon what it is. You may buy $30 worth of stuff and you got a $30 shipping fee. I don't like that. I like to know upfront what my shipping cost is going to be because I may decide I don't want to do that. I may decide I want to go somewhere else or wait or whatever. It just depends. But that's my issue with Madeira. But what I read on Facebook, which I never paid any attention to it, was that when you place your order, and this is what I read, so please don't say what Shirley said. I'm letting you know right now it's hearsay because I didn't go check myself. But what I read was when you order your items, thread, or whatever you're ordering from Madeira, it may come from different warehouses. And if it is coming from different warehouses, you're being charged a shipping from each warehouse. And then they total it up, and that's your shipping fee. So that's one reason why it may be more expensive. So you need to, and you don't know this until after the fact. Then you read your invoice and everything, and it's supposed to be something on there that is written in red that tells you what warehouse it came from. Therefore, if you buy a black thread at this warehouse and a blue thread over here and a green thread over there, then you can have a very high shipping rate. And I know that occurs um, with retails because I found that out when I was ordering some hoodies and different shirts and stuff, and I was getting them from All Day Shirt. And you order so much, I think it's $69, $79, or something like that, and then you get free shipping. So, naturally, if you need them, you try to get that whatever it is so you get the shipping free because you don't want to spend $20 and spend $20 on shipping. So, kind of go like that. If I'm going to pay $20 on shipping, I want my $20 worth. But nonetheless, I digress because I shouldn't be saying that because I got an Etsy shop and I have to charge for shipping. So, but on my Etsy shop or all Etsy shops, anything over, if you buy anything $35 or over, the shipping is free. I eat the shipping. Just throwing that out. That's how it works on Etsy. $35 and over, then the seller pays for shipping. But back to what I was saying. I found out I was ordering several different things. They weren't all hoodies. Um, and the shipping was ridiculous. I was like, wait a minute, I thought shipping was free. And I started reading the fine print because this one, thank goodness, they don't charge you, they let you know what you're paying for, put it that way, before you hit the button and say, okay, I'm gonna buy it. So when I start looking at it and questioning why was I paying so much money when I knew that I had reached the free shipping amount, and I read that it was some of the items that I had ordered was coming from a different warehouse, and each warehouse had its minimum. So if it's $79 at this warehouse, but you order something over here, then you got to do the $79 over there, or it's not free. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So pay attention when you guys are ordering your blanks and your threads and your supply, whatever you're ordering offline. Pay attention to how the shipping works because you may run into that situation because, like I said, that happened with All Day Shirt. But I found out about it before I actually, made the purchase. But I also found out just by reading information off of Facebook that apparently that's what Madeira does as well. But they don't tell you up front what they're doing. They just charge your card. And that's where my issue is with them. That's not good. So let me get back. That's my stuff on Madeira. But I do use Madeira thread. I just don't order it directly from Madeira unless I absolutely have to. So the next one that they mentioned, which is considered out of the top 10, is Isacord or Isacord, however you want to pronounce it, Isacord. Popular for its polyester threads. Isacord is praised for its strength and vibrant colors. Um, Robinson Anton. I've never used either one of those. This brand is renowned for its consistency and smooth finish, making it a favorite among professional embroiderers. And I also read that this is considered kind of the echelon of threads. Um, so therefore it's more expensive, but I've never tried Robinson Anton, but I've heard good things about it. Sulky thread offers a variety of thread types, including rayon, polyester, and metallic threads, and is known for their sheen and reliability. I did not know that Sulky had metallic thread. I don't think I knew that. Floriani, known for its high quality polyester threads. Floriani is favored for its durability and color fastness. Now, that's my thread of choice. Not to say that I don't have other threads because I have several different brands of threads. When I first started off, I got Sim thread because I didn't know any better. It was inexpensive, beautiful colors, but I only had a single needle machine at the time, and my single needle machine hated that thread, and I still have it. I'm looking at it now. I love the colors in there, and I mean, the colors are beautiful, and some people actually love Sim thread. I have used some of it on my 10 needle machine and it stitched fine. It's just that my SE 1900 did not like that thread for some reason. I don't know. But it is beautiful thread. But my thread of choice is Floriani. The next one is Sim Thread, just like I mentioned, offers a wide range of colors and is known for its affordability and quality. It is affordable. That much I say because that's what I started off with. And then I switched to Metro, which is on this list as well, because it was recommended by Eves at the Baby Booty. Um, and I tried it. It was inexpensive as well. Beautiful thread. Still have quite a bit of it, and I still use it, and it stitches really well. But I'm switching over to Floriani as I go. I don't order any more threads from any place else but Floriani because I'm trying to build up my Floriani stash. Um, Hemmingworth. This brand is appreciated for its innovative thread storage and high quality polyester threads. Now, I bought, and I haven't even used it yet, but I bought a couple of spools because I kind of wanted to get an idea of how it works because I really love the concept of it being in its own little container because that's the one thing that you have to be concerned about with your thread is storage and how to take care of it. So I bought some look like red, black, and white, and it comes in this little um, thing here. And actually, you're supposed to keep it in here and pull the thread out through the top, and it sits on there. So I didn't know that until I got it, but it comes off. Where am I? Okay, there it is. And here's the little dome, and then you put it on there, but it's a hole at the top, and you can pull the thread out from the top and stitch it like that, but you keep it contained. Now that's a concept that I love. Haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to. But I love the fact that you can keep it contained. So if you decide to keep your thread up on the wall, like I had mine, this is an excellent idea because you do have to be concerned about your thread getting dusty. And I didn't think about it. I'm knocking everything over down here. But I didn't think about it. I knew that it was an issue about your thread getting dusty and everything, but it didn't dawn on me that the dust from the thread can get into your machine and it can clog up your machine. I didn't think about that, but it makes sense. But doing my research today, I was reading about that and I was like, that makes perfect sense. That's another reason why they don't recommend that you keep your thread on the wall like zillions of people do. I had mine on the wall and I liked it on the wall. I really did. A pegboard on the wall is what you see in 90% of people's embroidery studio. It's a beautiful look and it's convenient because you can look right there and see exactly what you have and where it is. If you color coordinate it like I did, you know where your thread is and you know what color you have and you can just reach it, get it, use it, and put it back. But that's not the best thing for your thread. From what I everything I've read, the sun can fade the colors, it can get dusty, and it can dry out. So it is recommended that you keep it in some type of storage container, be it a plastic container or some type of drawer. Like Madeira sells their threads. If you buy um, a drawer of threads. They have the drawers. They're very expensive, but it's a cool idea. It's a good idea to keep it in some kind of drawer. Now, I did buy a drawer um, that I got out of Michael. You have to put it together. I hate that. It runs around 120 bucks, but you got to catch it on sale. Catch it when it's 50 and 60% off when Michael's running those sales, like I did. I got mine half price. But the other issue is you got to have somebody put it together. You're going to have to do it yourself. And because I have one, I really need to be honest about a couple of more or even 3 more to get all my thread in because I didn't put the pegs in there, and I need to make me a little peg board to stick in there so I can stick my thread on it. Right now, I just have my threads in there, and it's kinda hard to keep them sitting up and everything. They fall over when I take them out and stuff, so it's kinda hard for me to keep them as neat as I want them to, and I'm running out of room. I'm running out of room. I got over. I'm pretty sure it's over 300 spools of threads in there, and I probably have 500 spools of thread, if not more. Various colors. All of them don't need to go in there because I'm looking at them now. They're all in some type of container right now, except for the ones that I put in my drawer. But as you continue to buy thread, which I do, because you find out you need this color and that color, and you don't have this color, and you got to get more colors. So you're adding to your stash, even though you have thread. You still may need a particular red or a particular blue or a particular whatever, because I find myself doing that where I needed this specific color and I don't have it. You try to figure out what do I have that's closest to it. But I would love to have the color that I really need. So, like I said, I'm adding to my stash, but I'm running out of room. So Anyway, just be mindful of the dust that can get into your machine off of your thread that's hanging up on your wall on your pegboard. So another brand is Exquisite. Somebody mentioned, I think it was Ann, said that she loved Exquisite thread. Known for its vibrant colors and smooth finish, Exquisite threads are a popular choice for machine embroidery. And I think Dime sells Exquisite thread. Um, and the next one is Metro or Metro EMB. It offers high quality polyester thread at an affordable price, making it a great option for both beginners and professionals. Now, when I bought my Metro EMB thread 4 years ago, roughly 4 years ago, three and a half, whatever. Anyway, I bought the entire color case that they had. And at that time, several years ago, it was 99 cents a spool. So it was 130 some odd spools, and I paid 130 some odd dollars plus tax and shipping, which was an excellent buy. Like I said, I still have quite a bit of that thread now. And it's beautiful thread. It stitches well. It has a good a sheen to it and everything. Um, the only thing is buying individual colors can be an issue. You can, but I don't replace them. I decided not to replace them because, like I said, I'm moving on to Floriani. But it's a good beginner choice. Now, I looked at that today. They have 145 colors now, and it was on sale too, and I think it was selling for 225. It has gone up significantly since I bought it, so almost doubled. Yeah, almost doubled. You know, things change, everything goes up. And then the last one that they have out of the top 10 is Kingstar, known for its metallic thread. And Kingstar is praised for its strength and shine. Now, I use Kingstar metallic. I do have several other metallics. I bought quite a bit of metallic off of Amazon. Beautiful, beautiful thread, but it is an issue with the breakage. The breakage is terrible. You have to thread it on the thread stand where it goes up and down and around into your machine in order to kind of slow up the breakage. I was able to use it on my single needle machine by using it that way, and it did a lot better. But it is something that does occur. Now that is with the I think it's Sim thread or Bro thread, whatever they sell on Amazon. But the Kingstar is a different story. Kingstar works really, really well and very little breakage. Very little breakage. I love using Kingstar metallic thread. Now, Val, you said Floriani Diller. I guess you're asking the question. RNK, the letter R, the letter N, the letter K, RNK. If you go online and you put in RNK Floriani, that site should come up and you can buy all your Floriani thread from them. However, I have been buying my Floriani thread from, I believe it is Sewing Parts Online. I believe that's where I've been getting mine from because you can go through it and get all the colors. Um, I have a color chart. So when I go through it, I try to check and see what I have and what I want. So I don't duplicate as much as, I'll go in and I like this color, get it ordered, get it home and find out I already got it because obviously I like that color. but I'm trying to build it. So therefore, I need to make sure that I expand that. So let me see what questions have come up. Robin, you said you read that on Facebook too. Okay, so you saw the same thing I saw. And hi Danielle, how you doing? Shipping matters to you. Yeah, it matters to me. And hey Margot, how you doing? Uh, thank you for stopping by. And Carol, you say I always try to get the most items I can before the shipping goes up to the next level. Sounds like I could not do that. Um, sounds like I could not do that. Was the I guess at the Madeira site. And Pearl, I invested in three of the workbench and I keep my threads in the drawers because mine was on the once on the wall as well. Yeah. And Kara, I love seeing all my threads at once, so much easier for picking the right color. But the drawer idea is so good. It's a dilemma for sure. Now, actually, you can. The only issue that I have with the drawer is getting all of seeing my thread that's all the way in the back because you know your drawer is only going to come out so far or it'll fall on the floor. And this one won't because thank goodness it's locked where it doesn't do that. But if you fill it up, it's hard to see what you have all the way in the back. Other than that, I can see all my colors pretty good. So that's not a huge problem. But seeing it on the wall was a lot easier. And Carol, maybe a glass case of some sort I can dream anyway. And Val, you were saying something about Tennessee. When you go to Tennessee, there's a shop that has Floriani and may try to get more. Now, my sewing back, the place where they'll do brother repairs and everything, um, that I go to occasionally sells Floriani. They have the whole rack and everything of Floriani. I don't like buying my thread from them because they it's upcharged. I can get my Floriani thread at either 469 or 495, somewhere in that range per spool. If I go on the R&K site or if I go to sewing parts and more. Sewing parts online, I believe, is it for the same price, $4 and some odd cent. Whereas at the sewing back, it's like 6.95 or seven, right at $7 a spool. And I'm like, uh-uh. Now you might say, well, it's cheaper still because you got to pay for shipping. Well, that could be the case, but what I do, I only buy it when I'm going to buy enough where I can get free shipping or discounted shipping. So that saves me. Now, the only thing is time. You got to wait until it gets to you. If it's something that I have to have because of a project that I'm doing or something like that, I will drive there. And it's a little distance from me, not a lot, but I will drive there and get the thread because I need it right away, even though I know I'm going to pay a few extra dollars. It's worth me doing that if I can get it in a timely manner. But I prefer to order my thread because I order usually anywhere from 10, 15 to 30 spools at a time to make sure that I'm maximizing the sale. So that's kind of how I do. Or I add it with something else that I'm buying. Red Rocks thread sales. That's the R&K. Thanks for mentioning Red Rocks. Cause yeah, R&K and Red Rocks are the same pearls. So thank you so much. That's where you can buy the Floriani thread, Red Rocks, online. And Carol, you say you have. I like having access to all this accord colors at my favorite quilt shop. I can get it on my machine within a half an hour. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Uh, And yeah, it is more expensive, you say. Yeah. So those are the threads that they say are the brands rather. But I did ask about. Okay, these got all the weights and stuff. I want to make sure I get everything that I did question. I asked about the different threads, obviously, the colors and stuff. Not the colors, the weights and stuff. And I wanted to know what type of fabrics to use. So I specifically said, okay, if you're going to do a 10 weight thread, what kind of fabric to use for 10 weight? Because that's very thick. I have 12 weight thread and I know how thick it is. So 10 weight is thicker than that. And the recommendation is denim, heavy duty fabrics, perfect for the bold and prominent design. Canvas is another sturdy fabric which can support the weight and thickness of the thin weight thread. And twill. Twill fabric is durable and can handle the thickness of the 10 weight thread. And linen. So I was kind of surprised about the linen. While not as heavy as denim or canvas, linen provides a stable base and adds a touch of elegance to your embroidery project. And then wool. This fabric is thick in texture, making it a great choice for using 10 weight thread to create standout design. So if anybody's interested in using the thicker thread, 12 weight, 10 weight, 15 weight, those are the uh, fabrics that's recommended. You know, you have to keep in mind you don't want to use any delicate fabrics because if you do, you're going to have a problem with that thick thread. Because I'm trying to think, what fabric did I use for the Santa Claus? I don't remember, and I don't know exactly what I did with it. Um, I asked about what are some specialty threads because they mentioned specialty threads as well, not just weight, but specialty threads that we might be interested in using. And all of us know about metallic thread. We pretty much have either used it or heard about it, may have some fear of using it because it's not the easiest thread to use. You have to kind of know what you're doing with metallic thread. My recommendation, based upon my experience and everything that I've heard and read, is that you need to slow your machine down to its lowest level, which is 400 on my 10 needle machine. And if you're going to do it on a 10 needle machine, at least on my 10 needle machine, and I had to learn this the hard way, put your metallic thread, and I use Kingstar, on your N number, like a number one or a number two, or on the opposite side, 9 or 10. That's how it's set up. You don't want to put it in the middle because if you put it in any of the middle numbers, it will, because of the vibration, get twisted up in your other threads. I've had that happen to me several times until I don't know if Taisha told me, somebody, but anyway, putting it on the end is a dream. It does not get tangled up with the other threads. So if you're going to use it on your single needle machine, I recommend you use a thread stand and loop it up and over into your threading, and then come out that way because it needs to have room to uncoil and come down. That's why you need to have it on a on a stand where it goes up and then comes down through the machine because it gives it the opportunity to uncoil, and that way it will help prevent the breakage or slow the breakage down, and of course again slow your machine. And you should have some good results with using metallic thread. So don't dismiss using metallic thread because it makes some beautiful designs. I love using metallic thread. And metallic threads are made from a blend of synthetic and metal or metallic fibers, adding a shimmering effect to your design. So it is thread wrapped around um, metal, basically. So very, very thin. The next one is variegated thread. And variegated threads are threads that are dyed in stripes of multiple colors and resulting in a stripe appearance in your stitching. Now, the one thing that they said about using variegated thread, you have to be careful when you're choosing the color because you may not get what you thought you're going to get. And I've had that happen to me because you don't have any control over how the color is going to come out. Sometimes that color is going to come out and work really well, and sometimes the color is going to come out and it's like, that ain't what I thought I was getting. And I've had that happen to me a couple of times. The thread itself is beautiful on your spool, but when it comes out because of is variegated, and that means it's varied. It comes out. You don't know which color is going to actually be prominent or how much of it in your design. So it's you don't have any control over it. You know, if you pick red, you know when you're done, it's going to be red. You pick blue, it's going to be blue. But if you pick blue and red and green, you don't know if it's going to be blue, red, and green, or just mostly green, or mostly red, or mostly blue, depending upon the design itself and how it stitches. So you just have to be careful about that. Now, I'm not trying to deter anybody from using variegated thread. I just want to make sure you're aware of how that really works because, like I said, I've used variegated thread and I love it and I have quite a bit of it. But I did learn, and I read this today, but I learned myself the hard way is that you don't have any control over how it's going to come out when you're stitching. It's just going to stitch the way it wants to stitch. As far as the color is concerned, it's going to stitch. And sometimes you're going to look at it and say, oh, that is so pretty. And then sometimes you might look at it and say, that didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to turn. So that just kind of tells you a little bit about how variegated thread works. But do give it a try if you have not. Glow in the dark thread. And this is the perfect time of the year for glow in the dark because people use a lot of glow in the dark thread during the Halloween season, the fall season. And it is a phosphorescent thread that absorbs light and emits a glow in the dark. And it is really cute. Um, I have some, but and they probably can't do it. I meant to look it up to see because I think I have 4 or 5 spools, and they're all you buy a set and they're all very light color, but it does glow. Turn the lights out, it's gonna glow, it's gonna be pretty. Works really well if you're doing any type of costume for Halloween or a wall hanging or placemats, napkins, anything like that for Halloween or any occasion or project or what have you, where you really think that glow in the dark is going to work well. I mean, I could see a dinner party where the lights are very dim and you just maybe have candle lights on your table and you stitch some beautiful napkins with some glow in the dark thread. I could see where that could be very elegant or romantic, depending upon the occasion itself. But I can see where that would work. So it's not just for Halloween, but a lot of people do use it for Halloween mostly. But glow in the dark thread. I don't, you wonder. at least I've wondered, do you have dark color like black? Do you have orange? Do you have red? I've not seen it. Everything I have is really, really light color thread. So I need to research that and see if there is even possible, because I've never seen it anywhere in the stores or online or any place. It's always a very light colored thread. Twist threads. Don't know what those are. Made by twisting smaller threads of different colors together. These threads create a textured and varied finish. Now, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I remember seeing Madeira having some twist thread. I'm pretty sure it was Madeira. Might have been Sulky. But one of those two I saw where they were advertising twist thread. Never used it, but it sounds very interesting. And in silk thread, known for their luxurious sheen and smooth texture, silk thread adds a touch of elegance to your project. Now, silk is expensive, so just keep that in mind. Silk thread is very expensive, so it's some more threads. See if I can find that. Embossed thread. This type of thread has a special texture or pattern that creates a raised or 3D effect when used in embroidery. It's perfect for adding texture and visual interest to designs, especially for lettering or monogram. Now, I Googled and I couldn't find where to buy embossed thread or exactly what is embossed thread. They sent me to Urban Thread and Embroidery Library, and they were talking about embossed designs. When I went there and looked, it didn't say anything specifically about embossed thread specifically. So I don't know where you can buy it, what it looks like, or anything. So if anybody is familiar with embossed thread, let me know, because I'd like to know exactly what that is. I love embossed things, so I'm curious. And it also, the other one is wool threads. Now I know they have cotton threads, and there's two main things to remember about cotton thread. One, cotton thread can shrink when you wash it. So keep that in mind. It's just like any other cotton, it's cotton thread. So when you're stitching something, it can shrink, it can cause you puckering and all kinds of issues. So be careful with that. You may have to adjust your stitch lengths and stuff like that, the tension and all of that. The other thing is lint. Now, cotton thread is known to have a lot of lint. That's why people don't routinely use cotton thread. So just keep that in mind if you're deciding to use cotton thread. Um, Now, wool thread. This thicker thread can add a raised texture effect to your embroidery, making them ideal for creating bold and standout design. Have not Don't know where you can get wool thread, have never used it. So those are the different types of threads that's out here. Hi, Miss Mac. And who else came on? Leslie. Hi, Leslie. How are you? Thanks for coming. Who else? Who else? Who else? And Jenny, you said, I have exquisite thread and plastic scrapbook containers that were on sale at a Michael's and purchased the thread holder from Laserbeak, which are in numerical order of the thread. What do you mean by thread holders? Are you talking about the little picks, the pegs that you sit your thread on? If that's the case, let me know, because that's what I need. And Robin, you say you love to quilt with variegated thread. I can see where that would be very pretty. And Miss Mac, I use variegated thread. I use the glow in the dark thread for several customers for safety vests. And you know, they have that safety vest thread as well. And Carol, I found some glow in the dark rope when I was doing bowls and then found out it only keeps the glow ability for about 6 months. Oh, that's sad. But I didn't know they had glow in the dark rope. Well, blow me down. It's too bad it only lasts 6 months. That's not fair. That's not fair. Okay. We talked about the thick thread, the 12 weight, 10 weight, 15 weight, what have you. And I did ask the question about do you need to adjust your embroidery machine, so forth and so on. And what the AI said, use the right needle. Of course, I mentioned that you have to choose a needle with a larger eye, such as a 9014 or 116 to accommodate the thicker thread. So keep that in mind. You definitely need a larger eye for your thicker thread and a smaller eye, like a 65-9 for your 60 weight thread if you're doing those lettering. Make sure you adjust your tension setting, increase the top thread tension, and slightly loosen the bobbin tension to ensure smooth stitching. You may need to experiment with the tension setting to find the right balance. Now, for me, they're specifically talking about if you're using a single needle machine because I don't mess with my tension on my 10 needle machine at all. I don't. Um, Number three, lower pressure foot pressure. Reduce the pressure foot pressure to allow the fabric to move more freely under the needle. Increase your stitch length, as I mentioned. Set a longer stitch length to prevent the thick thread from bunching up or breaking. And of course, use the right stabilizer. Choose a stabilizer that matches the weight and texture of your fabric to provide extra support during embroidery. And then always test the do a test on scrap fabric before you do your main project to make sure you have everything set up correctly so you can make sure that you have a wonderful stitch out. Okay, Miss Mac, you said embossed thread looks like rope. Okay. Know how art craft. Know how art craft. I guess that's where you find. Know how art craft. It has, it's a thick rope type thread. Can you actually put this in a machine? I'm looking it up, trying to see if I can see. Well, it looks like rope. I don't see this. What I'm looking at is what you're looking at. I'm pretty sure. Now that's what they're saying is embossed thread on that particular site. Know how art craft. Trying to get the name on here. There you go. Know how art craft. And it does look like rope, but I don't know what you can do with this. You can do some couching, perhaps, if you have the ability to do that. But that would be the only thing that I could see you doing with that. Certainly not going to put that in through no needle. But that's interesting. Thank you, Miss Matt. Thank you. Um, I asked the AI about specialty stitching with all of this specialty thread. What can you do with the special thread? And it came up with candle wicking stitches. These stitches imitate the look of traditional candle wicking embroidery, characterized by thick raised line. They add a vintage touch to your project. You can do triple stitching. These stitches create a triple row of stitching, making them bold and decorative, and they are often used for top stitching or decorative seams. Chain stitching. This stitch forms a row of linked stitches that stands out. It's versatile and can be used for borders, outlining, and adding intricate patterns. And of course, satin stitches used to fill shapes and create solid blocks of color. The satin stitch produces a smooth and polished finish, making it ideal for bold floral designs and lettering. I love satin stitches. I think they're so beautiful. And bullion knot. This raised and intricate stitch is used for creating texture lines and coiled accent. It requires patience and practice, but yields impressive results. Now, I would think that a lot of these stitches, it doesn't say, and that's not the question I asked, but it sounds like these may be stitches that you do by hand. I'm not sure. Anybody that does hand stitching, you can answer that question because I don't see how you can do those things on your machine. So I asked about more stitches because we're using all of this fancy thread and trying to figure out what can you do with it. And creating 3D effects with embroidery stitches can add depth and dimension to your project. And here are some techniques to achieve stunning 3D effects. Raised or padded stitches. Use stitches like the satin stitch layered to create a plush appearance. Adding foam or felt under the embroidery can further enhance the 3D effect, which we're used to doing. Trapunto. We talked about trapunto before. This technique involves stuffing the fabric to create a raised effect, providing a luxurious finish. Love trapunto the way it looks. Applique, layering fabric pieces on top of your base fabric can give your design a distinct profile. We are very familiar with applique. Bullion knots, these raised and intricate stitches are great for creating texture lines and cold accents. So maybe you can do it with a machine. I don't know how to do that. French knots, these small raised knots can add texture and dimension to your designs. Woven picot stitch. This stitch creates a 3D effect by weaving thread over a base stitch, perfect for creating leaves and petals. And then they have 3D puff embroidery. Talked about that last week, didn't I? This technique uses a foam underlay that's cut to the shape of the design and added as an extra layer to the fabric. The embroidery machine then stitches over the foam piece, causing the design to lift and create a puffed effect. Using these techniques can transform your embroidery projects from flat to visual striking. I want to learn how to do something that gives it a 3D effect like floral designs and what have you. And they mentioned some of the things that you could do with Trampunto, which I mentioned I love. And I definitely intend to do some of these quilts. Now, I can see an absolutely gorgeous quilt if you make it up with Trampunto blocks. That would be so pretty. Incorporate Tramputo into quilt blocks to create a raised pattern and add a luxurious feel to your quilt. pillows, which is what I had when I tested the Trampunto, was to do for a pillow, which I plan to do. And it creates decorative pillows with intricate raised designs, a wall hanging, table runners, and placemats. Even clothing. Enhance your garment like jackets and skirts or dresses with Trampunto designed to add a unique personal touch. And then bags and purse. Use Trampunto to create eye-catching patterns on bags and purse, making them stand out. Um, Embroidery Library has a whole plethora of Trampunto designs that are absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. You might want to check that out if you're interested in trying some Trampunto. You might want to do that. Somebody who's that asking about candle thread, and I looked it up. Do, 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 do. And Carol said, I'm not near my manual. What are the thread size limitation for our PR 1055 machine? I don't know. I don't even know if it's in the manual. Um, I have used 12. That's the largest that I've used. And I've used 60 weight on my 10 needle. On my SE 1900, I've used 30 weight. That's my single needle machine. On my 10 needle machine, no, I have used 30 weight. I just remember I used 30 weight. So I've gone from 40 weight, 30 weight, 60 weight, 12 weight. Those are the only weights that I've actually used on my machine with no problem on my PR 1055. So I don't know. I think the limitation may be your needle. It may be your needle. Which machine do you have? Oh, you're asking Miss Mac. Where is the information that I gathered for candle? Because I looked up candle thread. I did because I knew that people were using candle thread, and I wanted to know what they thought about candle thread. And if I remember correctly, what I read was that it is a newer thread, but it is getting good reviews. And let me see. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't know what I did with it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't print it. Maybe I didn't print it. But anyway, I did look up candle thread, and it mentioned that it was a newer thread brand, that it is polyester and what was it? Soft, gosh, spun, polyester spun thread, and that's a softer thread. It's available. Candle has that. It's not all their thread, but you can get that soft spun thread, polyester spun, and they have the spot polyester, and I think they have rayon, but it's getting good reviews. And I do know people that use it. Angela Jasmina, for some reason, apparently switched from her Madeira because she was using Madeira forever, and now she uses candle thread. And apparently, it is working well for her. I haven't heard her say anything negative about it, and I think she's sponsored by a candle, and I know other people have tried it. I have not. I have not ventured out to it, but it also mentioned the AI when I did the check that it was affordable. So I guess it has a good price as well. So, you know, if you're interested, give it a try. Who, Miss Mac says she uses candle thread and she likes it. And I guess you're asking me, what do I use 12 weight for? Well, I mentioned earlier before you came on that I had gotten a couple of designs from Embroidery Library. And what the 12 weight thread, it allows you with the right design to create a fur like um, part of your design. I bought this Santa Claus design with the white beard and the white 12 weight thread was the beard, and then you get a brush and you brush it, and it kind of fluffs up like fur. Now that's what the 12 weight design was. The design was for to use the 12 weight. It specifically requested that you use 12 weight thread. That's how I found out about 12 weight thread. And I also bought the design where it's a lion. Now, I have not done the lion, but I bought the thread. I got all the different colors that was required from Madeira because Madeira does have 12 weight thread. That's where I found it. I don't, it's called Bermuda or something like that, something with a B. And, but it is 12 weight thread. And I bought that. I haven't done the lion. I've had that design a couple of years. I haven't done it yet. But I do have it. And but that's what I have used the 12-weight thread. So basically it is for anything that you want to be kind of a fluffy, furry, thick, textured. And if you use this bristle brush, it just fluffs up like that. And yeah, sounds like something you would want to try. I think so. Go on to Embroidery Library and look up 12-weight thread. I guess it would pop up. I don't know. But they do have at least two designs. They probably got more than that. But I bought the Santa Claus and it has the white beard. And then I bought the lion. That's what I bought off of Embroidery Library a couple of years ago. And to try it because I was curious as to how it would work. And that's what I got it for. Oh gosh, it was something else that I was gonna say. It was something else I was gonna say about thread, but it has skipped my mind. Oh, let me see what's here. Let me see what here. Now, I'm looking at this other piece of information that I got, Miss Mac, and it talks about specialty thread as well, and it mentioned glow in the dark, which we talked about, variegated and embossed thread. But it's thread. It's not that rope. I don't know what that is. Embossed thread is a type of thread that is made with a special texture or pattern, creating a raised or 3D effect when used in embroidery. This type of thread can add texture and visual interest to design and is often used for lettering or monogram. So that we looked at on that website, I don't think that that's what they're talking about. But I'm going to do some more deep dive research to see if I can find it because there's another one that they're mentioning. Now, they've talked about variegated thread, which I know, we know what that is. It says it's a type of thread that features multiple colors in a single strand, creating a unique gradient or ombre effect when used in embroidery. And it says this type of thread can add depth and dimension to designs and is often used for floral or landscape designs. Now it goes on to mention multicolor thread. So I was confused. What is that? Multicolor thread is a type of thread that changes colors at regular intervals, creating a striped or color block effect when used in embroidery. This type of thread can add a playful or whimsical touch to designs and is often used for children's clothing or accessories. Now, I have to find out what is the difference between variegated thread and multicolored thread. And then I need to find out what actually is embossed thread. So I'm going to do some deep diving research to see if I can find that out and come back and let you guys know because I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I'm confused as to what those two different types of threads are. Um, And Carol, you said that brushing technique could be a fun topic. We could watch you do that on the floor. Well, you know what? That is true. And I don't mind doing that. What I would have to do is stitch out the design because that design gonna take forever and a day. Trust me, it's like 5 or 6 different colors. I don't remember how many stitches it is, but it's a whole lot. So you're not gonna get that done in quickly. It's not gonna be done quickly, but I can definitely stitch out maybe the majority of it, finish it up online on the live, and then do the brushing and we can see how it turns out. That would be fun. I don't mind doing something like that. So that's a good idea. I will definitely keep that in mind, and we can see the results. And with that being said, did anybody try? Did anybody decide to buy that puff stuff and try it out? I'm just curious if you did. And for those of you that have it already, which I know a few people do, have you tried it yet? Did you try it? How did you like it? If you did. And if you haven't tried it yet, are you going to? Because I think it's a good option. I really do think it's a good option. Um, and I mentioned Angela Jasmina about the candle thread, but it made me think about this week, and I don't know if you guys saw it or not. I think it was last week when she did an unboxing on a new Melco. Did anybody see that? I think it's called the Melco Summit. She did an unboxing. Then she came back the next day and she did a video on the features that she liked. And then I found out that she had mentioned that she was going to Vegas. And she went to Vegas and she did a live. And she was talking about the machine on the live. So there is a new Melco. It's called the Melco Summit. It's very similar to the uh, uh, original Melco, but the biggest difference is you don't have to use your laptop. It has an LCD panel, just like that new Bernina, because I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but the Bernina 16 needle is the sister to the Melco 16 needle. It's just like the brother and the baby lock. So y'all keep that in mind. I've seen the Bernina 16 needle, and I fell head over heels in love with that until I saw that Melco Summit and girl. Now she was saying that the Melco Summit is running $15.99. That was at the Vegas thing. Don't know if it's still the same. But she did recommend that you get that extra $2,000 package because that'll give you 2 days of training and some more stuff. I don't remember all of it. But anyway, it came out to be 17 something. And at the particular Vegas thing, then they would throw in this $1,000 clamp system. if you put Angela's name on it. But I just brought it up because, like I said, I saw it, and Pearl, you said you saw it. Miss Mac, you saw it, and Robin, you saw it. Girl, girl. I have always liked the Melco, but I tell you that accutension, and what made me think about it was we're talking about all these different types and weights of thread and everything like that. That particular machine would recognize it. It recognizes what you're stitching, the thread, the fabric, the speed, everything, and it adjusts the tension. It even adjusts the tension in the various areas of the design itself. It is something else. It is really something else. I would love to see it up close and personal and give it a test drive. And I have to tell you, I love me some my brother machine. I love my brother machine. But that Melco, now I'm just gonna make a confession. If I had the opportunity, an opportunity I mean the do re mi, and the room. That's two things: the room and the money. Where I could buy either a Luminaire or a Avenir or the Melco Summit, I would be inclined to get that Melco Summit. I'm just going to tell you, I would be inclined to do that. Now, there are some things that the Brother machine does that the Melco doesn't, like your automatic threader. It doesn't do that. Um, I don't know if it has a camera, but you don't need it. It does have a laser. But everything about it is built to make sure that you do uh, the design correctly. It has loaded on all of the Mighty Hoops and everybody else's hoops, the Durkee hoops, the Hoop Tech hoops, Mighty Hoops, their hoops, everybody's hoop is already loaded into the machine. So when you put your hoop on, the machine recognizes the hoop. It's going to trace, and you're not going to hit that hoop because it recognizes it. And then when you do the trace, it traces the design, not the hoop itself, but the design as well. So it lets you know exactly where this design is going to be stitching. And like I said, it recognizes the hoop. So it's not going to hit your hoop. And I've said several times, it would be simple for brother to upgrade our machines, update our machines rather, with the software where it recognizes the Mighty Hoops because everybody uses Mighty Hoops. And I would love to be able to have my Mighty Hoop recognized on my machine so I would be more confident that I'm not going to hit my hoop. And the other thing about it, it has a scanner underneath the LCD panel where if you bought a hoop that is not already in there, you can scan the barcode on there and bam, it goes into your machine so they can recognize it. Now that's on that Melco Summit. If I understood what Angela was saying, I was sold right then and there. I was sold. It gives you when it shows you every part of the design that is stitching on in color that you have selected. I mean, the LCD panel itself, and the Bernina was very similar to that. The LCD panel itself is is loaded with so much in there that it's built for you to be able to do a perfect stitch out every time. Now, Carol, you said in regards to the new Melco, I keep telling myself, be careful, little eyes, what you see. Um, and Val, you said you saw the Avenir at the quilt show this weekend, and it's awesome. And Miss Mack, you said me too, so you would buy it. And I saw it, but I cannot buy another machine, even if I sold both of my brother's machines. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. That new Melco is amazing. I would sell my 10 needle machine for that Melco, I think. But I would definitely have to see it in person, touch it, feel it, play with it, and all of that, get the pros and the cons, because the one thing is you do have to do your maintenance, but it tells you what maintenance to do on a daily basis, what is required of you to do on a daily basis to keep it running, and it has a schedule, because it's just like the Bernina, and I've seen the Bernina, and I saw a demo, I saw the LCD panel and everything, and it tells you, like we know we have to oil our needle every day, so it tells you what to oil, what your daily routine is, what your weekly routine is, what your monthly and yearly and all that. It tells you that. So there's no way for you to not make sure that you keep it maintained appropriately if you're paying attention to your machine and doing what it tells you to do, which is what I like, because you don't have to worry about, did I do this, did I not do that, if you're paying attention to your machine, because it's telling you what to do, when to do it, where to do it, and how to do it. Now, tech support. That would be a good question. What is the tech support, and can you have a live person? Now, I was told that at a certain point, if they try to, this is with the Bernina, if they walk you through it and whatever the issue may be with your Bernina, and it can't be resolved with the walk, with the talking and walk through on the phone or whatever you're doing, I would assume it'd be a video FaceTime situation, then they will send a tech out. Now, do you pay for that tech to come? I don't know how that works, but they will send a tech out. That's with the Bernina. And since the Bernina and the Melco are related, I would make the assumption that that would be the case with the Melco. But that's something that you need to talk about. If and when anybody is interested in buying a machine of any kind, you really need to figure out how you can get your hands on it, get your eyes on it, touch it, play with it, and talk to the people about all the pros and the cons, because they're gonna give you all of the wonderful bells and whistles that it does, and it sounds like it's a dream machine, and it probably is. But then there's always cons. Every time there's a pro, there's a con. So you have to look at both and weigh it out and see what makes sense for you. Now, I'm a type of person, I love a multi needle machine. I love it. A 16 needle machine would just be like heaven. And it has a much larger hoop space. 16 by something, I think. I think it's a 16 by 19, which is big enough for me. I think I'd be perfectly content with a hoop. And I'm going by the hoop size of the Bernina. She mentioned it, but I don't remember what she said, because she talks so fast. But I know it is a 16 by something, if I'm not mistaken. So it's big. But Robin, you said I haven't wanted a multi needle, but I wanted that milk. Girl, 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 girl. I'm telling you, you don't know what you're missing out on a multi needle machine even now. A multi needle machine is a dream come true. The only drawback with the brother, even with only 10 needles, I can deal with that. But that the size of the hoop size gets me. You can do the 14 by 14 jumbo hoop, which is great. I can do jacket backs and all that kind of stuff with that. But the process is what is um, disturbing. Because you have to flip it, and it's not always a perfect flip, and especially with jackets. Now, I know I've been asked to do a demo with jacket and everything, and I am going to do it. I did get lucky, and I found a jacket, jean jacket, at a Goodwill. So I have a jacket now. I don't remember where I put it, but I have a jacket somewhere in this house, and I do intend to do the demo. Um, I think I have a design that I'm going to use because I want to make sure it's a design that is not so uh, dense with thread, so I can get it all done in the time frame that we have. So yes, I will be doing a demo on the jacket bag. And Joyce, I would consider trading in my 6 needle baby lock. Yeah, yeah. It would be worth the trade in, to be honest about it. I would definitely trade, and I love my machine and I'll miss it, but if I had that opportunity, and like I said, as much as I love Illuminaire, and as much as I've been dreaming about Illuminaire, and as much as I've seen that Avenir and love that Avenir from what I've seen about the Avenir, I would consider the Melco over that because I could eventually get. I don't even know if I want a Stellar because I don't think I like that camera situation that you had to take the camera and take a picture. That I don't like that. I don't like the concept of that. I guess it works, but um, it just a nice machine with a bigger hoop, a nice single needle machine with a bigger hoop for me would be fine. I don't have to have all of that if I had the Melco, because the Melco would give me practically everything I want because I do just about everything on my 10 needle machine. I don't do a whole lot of embroidery anymore on my single needle machine because I know I can do it on my multi needle machine. There's no need to do it on both machines unless I was so busy that I needed to do both machines. But the machine that I have now the largest hoop is 5x7, so it's restricted. So that's one of the reasons why I don't do it because most of the things I do, I want it bigger than 5x7. So I want it bigger than an 8x13. So I want it bigger than 5x7. But that would be my trade-off. That would really be my trade-off, and I think I would be happy with that. Now, if I could get both of them, ooh, you talking about one girl, I would be in embroidery heaven. But that Melco Summit is something. If you guys haven't seen her do her unboxing and talk about the features, it's two different videos. She did do the show. I saw it live, so the Vegas thing, but the unboxing and her uh, video that says my favorite thing about the Melco Summit or something like that. If you haven't seen it already, watch it just to get an idea of what it can do. And it's just for information. I just like to keep up with the latest and greatest and all of that kind of stuff. You know, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I'm blessed and happy with what I have. I'm not disappointed. I'm very blessed, very thankful. My machine is called Grateful, and I'm grateful to have it. And my little machine is called Inspiration because it inspired me to get into embroidery and inspired me to move on to the multi needle machine. So I don't want to sound at all ungrateful for what I already have and what I'm able to do with what I have. But I do know that you do grow, and it's important to know what's out there and what's available. Now they have the machines are just popping out. You know they have the Baby Lock Radiance, which is their upgrade from the Solaris, which is the sister to the brother Avenir. So those machines out there, and of course they still have the Luminaire, which is probably going to go down significantly in price, and then eventually be discontinued. I think this time next year the Luminaire will definitely be discontinued. I'm pretty sure of that. And then they have I don't know if Janome has anything or Juki. I think Juki has something. And then I think some of the long arms have some new machines. So the new machines have been coming out. They have been coming out. Just keep up with what's going on Facebook, and you'll see a lot of what the new machines are and what they can do. And who knows? You might consider trading up because that's always a good idea to do when you're in the embroidery business, whether you're doing it as a business to make money or you're doing it as a hobby. Upgrading is not a bad idea if that's something that you're interested in and you know you can afford it. They're even coming out. I think they came out and I don't remember what it is with some new surgery, which me personally would not invest in. I really use the surgery I have. So I would not invest in a new fangle dangle surgery machine because that's not something that I do a lot of. And what I have is pretty efficient. Um, but the embroidery machines and the sewing machines and all of that, because I'm thinking about a Juki. Now, who's that bought a Juki? Was that? Ouch. Betty. Betty. Are you still on here? If you are, didn't you buy a Juki not too long ago? And if you did, what kind of Juki did you get? Because I was looking at some Jukis. Um, because I think I need a sewing machine. If I'm gonna do some sewing, and I'm not sure if that's the route I need to go. Because I do know several people that have Jukis and they like them. And when I was doing we're doing these jean purses, making purses out of old jeans for our so long project, and I was doing a lot of thick stitching, and my machine was looking at me like I was crazy. Want to know why am I putting all of this uh, stress on there? I was saying to myself, maybe I need a Juki or something that is made for all of this rough and tough sewing. If I'm going to be sewing quilts and different items that are thick, and if I'm going to be sewing, period, because that's what I want to do. I want to beef up my sewing. I have some patterns, I have some fabric. There's some things that I want to make. I just haven't taken the time to do it. But you got the Juki 9000 CF. What are the features, Betty? Because I remember when you got it and you were quite happy with that. And I couldn't remember what it was that you got, but I do remember that you were quite happy with it. So does it just do straight stitches? I'm looking at it now. It looks intense. You have a Carol, you have a semi-industrial straight stitch juking machine, the TL18. You love it for bag making. Okay. Okay. Because I'm trying to think if that's something that I want to invest in. Now I do know that there are other people that have Jukies that didn't pay, because I just looked up the Juki that you have, Betty, the price, and uh they do have some that are a little less expensive, but if I'm not mistaken, it only does straight stitches. So is that pretty much what the Juki does? Is just straight stitches, no zigzag or decorative or anything like that. I know it's an industrial um, sewing machine. And believe it or not, I think I told you guys a while back that I worked in a sewing factory for 6 years on an industrial sewing machine. Have no idea what it was, but I know it was industrial, and it flew. That was back in the day when I could do that. I don't know if I could zoom like I used to. I don't know. I might be able to pick that back up though if I keep at it. I might be able to pick it back up. But and so you said only does um straight stitches. Okay. All right. And what is a lock stitch? I don't know anything about it. What is a lock stitch? Because I did look it up and it did say something about lock stitch. I don't know what that is. And what do you use, if you don't mind telling me, what do you use your machine for mostly? Are you quilting on it? Are you making garments on it? What are you using the machine for? Because it's not an inexpensive machine, and it's a very very powerful machine, and obviously it comes with its own table and all of the stuff that goes with it and all so forth and so on, which is cool. That's again more room, more room, more room. But I was just curious, and I'm gonna do more research on it, looking at it, and everything like that. But like I said, I was thinking about maybe um, that. I don't even know if that's something that I need. I have a Genome in storage. I just need to pull that thing out and see what all it does. To be honest about it. So the speed is 4,000 speeds per minute, and you can use every fabric you want, which is great. So it would be ideal for, as Carol was saying, bag making and quilting and all of those kinds of things. I'm pretty sure of. So I have to do more thinking on that. I have to do more thinking. I don't know if that's what I really want. I do want probably more in the range of a quilting machine. Probably. Because I think I want to do more than just straight stitches. And I don't need to do 4,000 stitches per minute. I don't need to go that fast. That's a lot of stitching. I don't need to go that fast. I'm not that uh, talented to stitch like that. And you can put some stuff together in a New York heartbeat with that speed right there. I tell you, I could see getting done with a lot of projects. So if you're inclined to do that, I can understand um, the excitement and everything. But I just want something that I know is going to where I can um, do thicker fabrics and quilts and stuff like that and not feel like I'm going to damage my machine, because I'm using my SE 1900, which is a sewing and embroidery machine, And I have to be honest, but I don't want to damage it. So, Carol, you saying good night. It's time to say good night. I'm looking at the clock now. We have reached the 10 o'clock mark, which I guess if the witch, if the what is it, the ball drops or the Cinderella thing. Um, so, Joyce, you were saying Janome is a good machine. The minimum speed is 15. The minimum is 1500. Okay. That's still fast. 1500 speed. That's still fast. Yeah. That's still fast for me right now. Right now. But I like I said, I'm gonna do my research and I'm gonna see what I think I can do. Uh and George, you said the Genome M8. I had to look that up. Is that what you have, Joyce? And now that I have you two ladies on here before we go, y'all need to let me know what you're gonna do about next week. Next yeah, Friday, Thursday, Friday, whatever, Saturday. Are y'all coming? Not coming? Did you make up your mind? Whatever. Let me know, please. I'd appreciate it. I would love to see you guys, and I hope you all can make it. But the expo is next week. It starts next Thursday, which is the 26th. But I'm not going to be there until the 27th. I'm going to be there that Friday and that Saturday. Friday night, Saturday night, and we're going to do the dinner on Friday night. And so the more the merrier. I hope you guys can come, and anybody else that's in the area that's interested is in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Um, and again, it starts next week on the 26th. That's that Thursday and goes through the 28th. And I think the doors open at 8 and they close up at 5:30 every night except for Saturday. Saturday, I think it closes at 5, which is the last night. And like I said, I intend to be there on Thursday and Friday. Not, I'm sorry, Friday and Saturday. And hope to see as many people as possible. And good night, Jenny. And Carol, what are you saying about buttons? Because you were leaving anyway. You're probably gone, but I don't know what you meant by buttons. But anyway, let me go ahead and say good night to everybody. I appreciate you guys. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget that thumbs up. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Also hit the notification bell. And if you have any suggestions, comments, or anything, please put it in my channel comments, and I do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will talk to you later. And all the people in the So Along, I will see you guys tomorrow night. You guys take care and have a wonderful rest of the week. Take care. Good night. Bye bye.